Hello everyone, so in this video, I'll continue with this build of a 2-inch freestyle drone. This is the frame, the Alpha RCFI 100, and I used this frame before on a previous video, and what we utilize is the DJI O3 Air unit. When I use the full cased O3 Air unit, this struggle to fly. Now, when we try to use a decased O3 Air unit, you're able to do a bit of freestyle with this frame. Why not use the O4 Lite for this build? Try to put some links in the comment section so that you will see some of the parts that I'll be using today. So we will use the Pavo20 flight controller, motors, and propellers, or we will try to change the propeller as we go on with this build. But basically, we'll just utilize the Pavo20. We will utilize the O4 Lite. The camera is following me. So we will use the O4 Lite. And hey, we'll utilize the O4. Look at the cam. The O4 Lite. Not me, okay? The O4 Lite with the BetaFPV canopy. Hey, look up, look up. The Alpha RCFI 100 has a diameter of 9 diameter. Ooh! It's too windy here, so I'm having difficulty making this video. So this camera holder here is actually 19mm, which is the right fit for this camera holder of the O4 Lite. We went inside because the camera is overheating, so let's proceed here. So I already built this before. Probably just put a link. So we will disassemble first the Pavo20. Okay, so you remove this. Next is we will remove this from the frame. We will also bend this capacitor. This will be the build. So we have finally finished our 2-inch freestyle build. It took me more than a year just to be able to create this, of course, because of the VTX that we tried to put here. When we use the O3 Air unit, it's really heavy, but the quality is good. Of course, you have the penalty for the weight. And flies okay, but it cannot do a lot of this acro movement because the weight is around 110 grams without the battery. Now, when we use this O4 Lite, the weight became very, very low. When we try to put it on a weighing scale, it is roughly 68 to 70 grams. Of course, we don't have any other accessories yet. So the only thing that we put is this rubber feet just to increase the clearance for the screws. This is the O4 Lite, and we are utilizing the Meteor75 Pro lens holder, and because of that, it is floating. Basically, it is not hard mounted to the TPU. So we are trying to replicate the DJI Neo in this case. We use this 1103 85,000 kV motor of BetaFPV, and we utilize the flight controller of the Pavo20. As you can see, the capacitor, we bent it because the capacitor of the Pavo20 is actually protruding here. Gemfan 2023 propeller. On our flight test, I'll be using blade, and we'll also fly using this tri-bladed propeller. Okay, so it's actually a bit windy today. Wow, very light for the Pavo20. Let's just hope that it doesn't break. Wow. No jello on our video. See? Wow. Although there are a bit of, because of the wind, see how strong the wind is right now. See? But it's too loud. It's a biblade. So this is our maiden flight. Trying to guess on how it would react on our throttle movement. Stock R, this is just stock rates. Second flight, I used a tri-bladed propeller from Fan. I like the three-bladed more than the bi-blade, although it's too floaty. Oopsie. Basically, it's too light for the Pavo20's build, but it is actually enough to fly. I just need to be very careful. See, there are people just approaching, and you don't want to cause any trouble. Wow, I love it. This is the build that I really wanted to do. And you're already 2 minutes in our flight time, but our battery is still at 3.6 volts. So this is a 3S build. Ooh. You can fly for a long time. It could battle any wind, but it would cross jitters on your video. Oh, you need to take care of these kids. You don't want to hit them. Now the only problem with this is the O4 Lite's field of view. It's quite narrow to our liking, but since this is a 4K video, it should do it. If you really want to do some cinematic shots, you could actually do that with this. The kids are shouting. See, you could do this cinematic shots with this video, then suddenly you want to do an acrobatic movement like this, you could do very quickly with a very small build. Okay, let's just try to land. We need to find a spot to land because there are a lot of kids. Okay. Hopefully they don't approach me. Okay. We did our flight test of this 2-inch freestyle build with the O4 Lite. It was a nice flight because of this very light O4 Lite. It's not as heavy when we tried to use the DJI O3 Air unit. If we will be using the O4 Pro with this build, this will struggle really badly. But with this O4 Lite, we're able to fly with confidence, even with a bi-bladed propeller. As I noticed on that flight, there are no jello, probably because it is this mounting of BetaFPV and the hard mount here, and probably the TPU is helping out with that jello. If you would ask me, this is a nice build if you just want to make a very small one that you could fly in the park. You could just rip around. Actually, when I'm trying to fly this in the park, there are a lot of kids. I was really nervous to land because the propeller is exposed, unlike when we are using a ducted, just like the Meteor75 Pro or even something very small. Because of the light build of this freestyle 2-inch, we are able to fly with confidence. We are even with a stock rates. The only downside, I think, with this build really is the VTX, the O4 Lite camera. It's way too narrow for my liking. Probably on our next video, I'll upgrade the lens to a 2.1mm lens just to increase our field of view to around 150 degrees. The 117 degrees is way too low. This is a nice build. I'm happy that after a year I was able to do this, and really the missing link is the O4 Lite camera of DJI. It's just a plug-and-play solution, so all I did was remove the VTX from the DJI O3, plug in the O4 Air unit here, and we flew this 2-inch freestyle FPV drone build that we have. If you like to do something like this, something similar to this one, I will be sharing some links on the parts that I used for this one. You could go and check it out and probably do something similar on your next FPV drone build. So we will end the video here. Hope to see you on the next video. Happy flying and see you on the next one.